Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Evangelical Alliance Ireland. I'm James Reilly, and this is the fourth of 5 messages on the subject of knowing God's will. We've already talked about the Word, the Spirit, consecration, and now in message number 4, we're going to talk about opportunity. Sometimes God's will consists of responding to the opportunity that's in front of us. When Paul wrote to the Philippians, he said, I might die, I might live, I might come and see you, I might stay away, but whatever happens, no matter what the situation is, conduct yourselves in a manner that's worthy of the gospel of Christ. No matter what the situation is, every situation that presents itself to you is an opportunity for doing God's will. When Jesus and his disciples encountered the man born blind, the disciples asked a question about the past. They said, why did it happen? Did he sin? Did his parents sin? Jesus did not go there. Jesus said this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. Jesus saw an opportunity. They saw something to analyse and reflect on in an unhelpful way. So every situation, even if it's a bad situation, is an opportunity for responding with the good will of God. Whatever happens, we can respond in a way that's consistent with the will of God. In Isaiah chapter 58, we're told that God's will is to divide our bread with the hungry, bring the homeless poor into the house, and when you see the naked, to cover him. Notice that phrase, when you see. You don't get up in the morning going looking for someone who's hungry or naked or poor, but when you see them, when you encounter a person in need, you will typically be led by the Spirit to respond to them in some way. So when the situation arises, there is some response, which is a godly response. I remember many years ago, I was in a prayer meeting and there were only 3 people in this prayer meeting. There was me and my wife and one other person. I'll call him Jimmy. It's not his real name. But Jimmy was a professional man in a high-powered job, and he had been given a week's study leave to do some postgraduate study that was relevant to his career. So that week started on the Monday, and when he came to the prayer meeting, it was Wednesday evening. And so far that week, he had not done any study at all. He had spent the first 3 days in his garage, taking his motorbike apart and putting it together again, which was something he enjoyed doing. But he had been given an opportunity to study and he hadn't taken it. But now, here's the thing. During the meeting, I felt a word on my heart to share with the people in the meeting. And the word I felt to share was a half a verse from Galatians chapter 6. It was these words. While we have opportunity, let us do. And I stopped there. I shared those words in all innocence, and only after I'd shared them did I realise, these words are very directly applicable to Jimmy because he has wasted his time instead of using his opportunity. And I thought, I hope he doesn't feel so embarrassed that he never comes back to a prayer meeting in my house again. But on reflection, I realised that that verse was not for Jimmy. It was for me. Because that verse became a rule of life for me, which God impressed on my heart. While we have opportunity, let us do. I remember driving through Mullingar another day, some years later, and someone was about to pull out of a parking space on the street. And I remember this verse, while we have opportunity. So I slowed down the car and signalled to allow them to move out of the parking space. And as they moved out, I saw it was a Christian whom I knew well. And I thought, well, how good is that? Because as the verse was coming to my mind, it said, while we have opportunity, let us do good to all men, and especially to those who belong to the household of faith. And so this idea of responding to opportunities is a rule of life that allows us to find God's will even in unpromising situations. Don't despise opportunities. Usually they're small opportunities. I went to pick blackberries one day, and when I looked at the bush, I only saw 1 or 2 blackberries. And I was about to turn away, thinking that this was pointless. It wouldn't be possible to make jam with 2 blackberries. And I felt rebuked by God. I felt him say, you have come for blackberries, and there are blackberries. Pick them. So I picked those 2 blackberries, and when I did, I saw a third, and then a fourth. And as I continued, There were enough blackberries for whatever menu item I had in mind. So we respond to opportunities that may look small and may look like they're not very well set up. Like the woman who poured the ointment on Jesus' feet, and people said, oh, that's not the right thing to do. And Jesus said, leave her alone. She did what she could. In the situation she was in, she did the very best thing that was possible. So in the same way, you and I, we don't have to wait for big opportunities, but grasp the opportunities that are before us and respond to them with great love. So today, be looking out for those opportunities. And as you respond to those opportunities, you will find that you are in God's will. So may God bless you as you do that. And please join me here again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Evangelical Alliance Ireland.